My name's Tanya. I'm sitting in an interrogation room, my hands cuffed to the table, the pain in my side a constant reminder of the recent surgery. A detective is sitting across from me, throwing accusations my way, saying I'm a junkie who stole my father's car and committed elder abuse. But he has no idea what's really going on. It all started a few days ago. My father, Henry, was in desperate need of a kidney transplant. I was a match, and without hesitation, I offered to donate mine. 3 days ago, surgeons took my kidney to save his life. Little did I know that this act of self-sacrifice would be met with such betrayal. The night after the surgery, I woke up in a pool of cold sweat. The pain was excruciating, and I reached for my bottle of opioids, but it was gone. My wheelchair was also missing, and my penthouse was as silent as a tomb. I dragged myself across the hardwood floor, my bleeding stitches leaving a trail behind me, until I found my phone. On Instagram, I saw a post from my sister, Lily. They had landed in Aspen for my father's recovery trip. They had left me here to die alone, flying private on my dime, and Lily had stolen my painkillers for a high. I was filled with a cold anger. I remembered that just before my father went into the operating room, he made me the interim trustee of the family estate. He thought I was just a boring, obedient accountant. He gave me the keys, thinking I was a doormat, but he was wrong. I opened the family trust banking app. The balance was a number with enough zeros to change everything. There was a pending transaction for $25,000 at the Aspen Club for caviar and vintage champagne. They were celebrating while I was here suffering. I didn't hesitate. I flagged the transaction as unauthorized fraud and confirmed it. The card was instantly frozen. Next, I canceled their first-class return tickets. They were now stranded in a ski resort town during peak season, with no way home and no credit cards. But I still needed cash. I found Lily's brand, New Custom, ordered Porsche in the digital asset manager. It was in the trust's name, so it was mine. I sold it at a distressed price, taking a financial hit but feeling emotionally satisfied. With the money, I booked a 24-hour concierge medical team. A nurse would be here in 20 minutes. I leaned back, breathing through the pain, and listened to the sweet symphony of their declined transactions on my phone. 12 hours later, my front door was kicked in. Henry and Lily burst in. Henry looked disheveled and enraged, and Lily was shivering and wild-eyed. They hadn't come to apologize. They came to confront me. I held up the manila folder and told them I was revoking the trust and liquidating the accounts. Henry just laughed. He motioned to 2 police officers and claimed I had hacked his accounts while he was under anesthesia, that I was mentally unstable due to the medication. Lily showed a digital affidavit, saying I was an addict who threatened to kill them. The officers saw me pale, sweating, and surrounded by pill bottles, and they believed I was a junkie who had robbed my elderly father. They arrested me, and as they cuffed me, the pain shot through my body. In that moment, I remembered being 10 years old. I had fallen and broken my leg at school. The nurse called my father multiple times, but he didn't answer right away. When he finally picked me up, he took me to Lily's dance recital instead of the hospital, saying we couldn't miss it. He told me not to be selfish, that pain was mental. I realized then that I was never a daughter to him. I was just a resource, a spare part to be used when needed. But he miscalculated. He thought teaching me to endure pain would make me compliant, but it made me unbreakable. Now, in this interrogation room, the detective is trying to coerce me into signing papers to restore my father's access to the trust. He shows me photos of Lily's Porsche being sold. He says I'm a criminal, but I'm not. I'm a certified forensic accountant. I tell him that this isn't a domestic theft, it's a federal RICO case. I have the black ledger for the Henry Thompson Foundation, a $50 million Ponzi scheme involving medical charities and shell companies. Just then, Henry and the family fixer, Mr. Harris, enter the room. Henry pretends to be heartbroken, saying the meds are making me imagine things. He whispers that Lily has destroyed the hard drive with the evidence at my apartment. But I'm not worried. I tell the detective that the evidence is inside Henry himself. The room goes silent. I explain the whole Ponzi scheme and the ongoing DOJ investigation. I tell him I didn't give my kidney to save Henry. I gave it to keep him alive long enough to stand trial. Just then, 4 FBI agents enter the room. The lead agent says, "Henry Thompson, you are under arrest." As they cuff him, his face crumbles in horror. I whisper, "I gave you life so it could turn into a prison sentence." Later, alone in my rec apartment, I flush the painkillers. I don't need numbness anymore. The scar on my side is a reminder, not of a wound, but of a victory. Sometimes, you keep your enemies alive just long enough to watch them fall.